loans give more returns. Get more security and more interest on your fixed deposits from Sri Lanka's largest finance company, LOLC Finance.
Hi, I'm Radhey.
Hi, I'm Ishara. We will be answering Living's questions today for Living Gets Real.
Hi and welcome to another episode on Living Gets Real. We are covering a special series on Living Gets Real focused on corporate happiness and its importance. And to talk about this subject area, we have with us today Senior Vice President Human Resources of Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, Ishara Naufal, and Chief Commercial Officer of Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts, Radhey Tawar. Hi and welcome to the show, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us today.
Starting this episode with Ishara, our first question. Do you think AI will have an impact on corporate lifestyle? And if so, how?
So definitely is my answer. And how it's going to affect is, when technology evolves and new things come into play, our people can do things more effectively. And we as an organization encourage colleagues to embrace AI. And for an example, ChatGPT is now has become part of work. Everything we do, we have to check on ChatGPT. So likewise, we kind of encourage it, and we as an organization embrace it. And also we want to, we've done some work as well on our new application tracking system that we have introduced, especially with Cinnamon Life recruitment. We were able to kind of attract 18,000 applications. And we've almost hired 1,300 people into Cinnamon Life. So AI definitely helps in terms of attracting talent, as well as it has kind of new implementation is we are also introducing a shortlisting aspect where it will read your CV and identify the talent and skill sets based on the criteria given. So in that sense, it has made life easier. So likewise, we will continuously we would want to evolve in this journey, and I believe some of the mundane stuff will go away. People will kind of spend time in creating new things and also kind of improving our guest experience. So that's the whole focus on AI, and I think that is something we will embrace it very happily.
Radhey, anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I think AI has been now around since late 1950s, so it's not a new technology. But what we see in today's form and the way it has gone viral over the last 2-3 years, with the machine learning coming into play extremely effectively and allowing it to for masses to adopt in a very fast manner, and it is coming to us in a very fast way, and we are looking at within our teams on how are we going to embrace it and ensure that this makes our work, our team's work, our people, our colleagues' works much easier and smoother. So being from a commercial point of view, I think one of the big way to adopt AI in our work environment we are looking at is how can this enhance our customer or the guest experience. That's one of the biggest and first areas, because personalization in our we are in the business of hospitality. Personalization for our guest is our main objective, and if you are able to use the technology effectively, to drive personalization through customer experience is what we think that is going to be one of our key success factors, and how AI will be able to do us very effectively. We are also looking at how do we use the technology now from an AI point of view to improve our responses time to our bookers, our guests, and also how our teams can now respond to our guests in much faster way. Right, gone are the days where we used to talk about 24 hours response time. Now it's instant responses. So we have come a long way from 24 hours response time to 12 hours to I think in late 2010 until 2015 we were talking about a 1 hour response time, and now we are in the world of an instant response. And I think AI technology allows us to do that instant responses to our guests, which helps drive our bookings and conversions, and ensure that we are also utilizing this technology into driving more revenue and bringing more guests to our hotels and resorts. From a teams and functionality point of view, I think we have within commercial we have a huge scope, whether it's sales or marketing or our distribution channels or PR and communications, to utilize this. The marketing teams can use this to either do a presentation instead of building it from the scratch, bring it up, put it into the AI and let it throw the ideas, and then you utilize your energy in fine tuning the presentation rather than the mundane task of creating and anything that is repetitive and really boring. So you don't really have to start from the scratch. You can put it into the AI and just refine it and tailor it to the audience that you wanted. We also are working on using the some of the platforms that are available to us today in our booking systems on how our teams make the booking. So for example, there is a tool that is being implemented within our teams in their reservations team to say, instead of entering a booking into the system, how can AI help us do that? So we spend our team spend more time talking to our guests rather than just inputting a booking from a travel agent into the system, which doesn't really add value or enhancing the guests or the customer experience. So I think the opportunities are huge. The good thing is that our leadership teams in the organizations are embracing it and are taking time to explain the usage, the benefits of AI, and we think that this is going to really help us bring us closer to our guests and also bring us closer to our teams.
And moving on to our second question, what would be the craziest thing that you have done at work?
So I'm generally, I believe I don't do crazy stuff. Okay. So I'm an introvert. That's what I believe. And then over the years, yes, I've come out of my shell and done different things. So one of the craziest experience I've had is, we went to Maldives for an event. That's one of our hotels. And suddenly, we had to face a situation where all the local staff kind of rallied around us and said that they are not going to work, and there's some, kind of a strike action they wanted to start. So it was a kind of a crazy situation for me at that time. It was my first experience, and you are here in an island, and you're kind of, you didn't know what to do. And then our senior management was supposed to come in few hours time. So the first thing we did is telling them not to come. And then of course we had long discussions with the authorities and the unions, and then we had to, actually the Maldives we don't have unions, but the staff, few people, it's only few people, but who wanted to make a big issue. And as it's normally done, when few people make try to rally around other people and get them to do things different, a lot of people just join even without understanding why it is. So it was sort of my kind of bit of a crazy experience, but we were able to kind of amicably sort it out, and things were good after that. So that's one. And another thing I would say is sometimes I've decided, especially when it comes to recruitment of people, there are times that I've gone against the normal norms of ticking the box in terms of everything that we want in a person for recruitment, but have decided on taking someone purely based on gut feeling. So that has also worked out, and I've seen some of those people have come out really great, and today taking leadership positions at Cinema Days. So that also I feel is sometimes a crazy decision on my part which had paid off. So yeah, so those are some of the things that I can recall. But in addition to that, also we feel as an organization we want to kind of emphasize on a culture where people can be a little bit crazy at times, do things differently, and also be innovative, creative, and curiosity being one of our values. We want people to continuously kind of do things differently. So therefore, initially it might feel as if it's crazy, but sometimes some of those ideas kind of end up as some brilliant ideas. Yes, so it pays off. So yeah, so that's kind of my experience.
Okay. And Radhey, what about you?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer, I guess. I think I would agree with Ishara that I don't think I have done anything that you would really call it crazy, but then I think I would use the term disruptive, or anything that is challenging the status quo, whether it's towards the well-being of your team members, or it's towards enhancing the guest experience or the revenues for the organization. And I think as along, if I just talk a little bit about my career journey, most of my roles have been 2 years or maximum 3 years, even though if it's a move within the same organization. But then I was always challenging myself to say whether am I getting too comfortable to this role now? What else I can do? Can I do more? And in most of so having done that continuously throughout my career journey, I have always remained in a position where I am extremely challenged, and from a position of a leadership in this organization where I am there today, I think that is something that I very proudly pass on to the team as well, where we challenge on every occasion whether are we doing this because we have already done that, or are we doing this because we have a really good reason to do that, whether it's linked to your guest experience, linked to your top line, or linked to the well-being of your team members or colleagues. So I think that's for me is extremely important, and that's for me is crazy, where you say that don't do anything just for the sake of it, or just because you have already done so, but to really understand the reason why we are doing anything that we do within the organization based on 3 or 4 of our key pillars.
Radhey, also, given that you are a family man and both of you also have kids of your own, how do you make sure that you maintain a work-life balance, especially personally and also in your careers, and how does Cinnamon enforce a work-life balance and make sure that people are able to enjoy that while working, also maintaining that balance?
Right, and I think it is not an easy question to answer, in my opinion. For me personally, the way I see the approach towards work-life balance is it's a bit of a blurred line for me, and I say this extremely carefully because for me to have the ability and flexibility to do one or the other at a time when it's convenient, and also when it is really important, and you probably have to you have the moments where you are compromising on one or the other at various amounts of time, but overall if you have that freedom where you are able to choose and make those decisions without really having an impact on one or the other, is what I think work-life balance means for me. And if I give you some examples, is that my role is extremely demanding and challenging, which I absolutely enjoy. But I also know that it cannot be done between 9 and 5, and not that I encourage off the work hours working, but personally what works for me is I need at least 1 or 2 hours of me time where I sort out my day in the morning. I'm a morning person. I think the whole team knows about it extremely well. And then I would be 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning on my computer, in my thoughts with a coffee, and really thinking about how the day is looking, how do we plan for this meeting. That's me time. Whether right now currently I'm in Sri Lanka by myself, my family is not here, but even with the family, that time is a me time, and that I choose whether I spend that doing work or going out for a run or whatever it is. So that's me time for me, whether it's I decide to do work or I decide to do a recreation stuff at that time. So that's the freedom I was trying to refer to earlier on. And well-being is one of our core values in our organization, and we also want to ensure that this is at the core of everything that we do and say to our team members and our colleagues. We are more focused on the delivery and the productivity, and we also allow the same philosophy of having our colleagues and the team members choose the path on how they deliver it. The kind of diversity that we have at our workplace amongst our colleagues, that demands that we allow our team members to make their choices on whether they want to think about work at past midnight, or they want to think about a family time in the middle of the week, take a few hours off and attend to a family matter. So that's absolutely their choice, because we believe the team that we have and the freedom within the framework that we provide allows them to make that decision and ensure that they are in full control of how the work gets delivered and how the family and the personal time gets managed. And I would like to refer to one of the great orators and leaders, Simon Sinek, who has said quite a lot about the subject. And I think he also has mentioned that, which I think I'm a great fan of as well, that we don't want to tell our team members that this is when you work, this is when you take a time off, because I think when you have a trusted team, they can make that decision by themselves. You just need to ensure that you're allowing the framework to have that confidence that they can make this decision and look after both aspects of the life.
Ishara?
So for me, personally, work without life and life without work is not possible. That's the way I've kind of, the 24 years of my career, that's what I have been doing. And also what I believe is, it's like Radhey said, it's also a personal choice in terms of how you manage work and life. It's not that you only work. Within that whole framework, you manage life in the sense of taking me time, taking breaks, and also, so I'm not a morning person. I get up only at 6:30 in the morning, so I rush everything else to get to work before 8:30. But I make sure that when I go back home, I go to the gym or do something on my own, watch something on Netflix, or do something to relax. So that happens. And of course, when you have kids and when they are younger, it's more challenging. You have to actually balance that. But I suppose when you enjoy work, and also when you are able to kind of, be mindful about how you manage things, and how do you kind of give your full attention to what you are doing. If you are working, give full attention to work, and if you are really spending time with the family, try to take that, be mindful and be available 100% for them. This is so important. So if you are able to do that, I suppose you can balance work and life. It's not that you can't. But of course, like every leader, I'm sure, will tell that you do have to make certain personal sacrifices. You can't have everything at all times. Sometimes your work will take you away from home, and then you have to manage things, and when you come back then you may have to take a break to kind of look into what needs to be done at home. So those checks and balances are very important. And also being a woman in a corporate, I have realized over the years, you have to initially at least you have to sacrifice quite a lot to get where you want to get. But then if you have a family which is understanding and who can support you and kind of give you that assurance that things will be fine, you proceed and go forward, then it's really not so difficult. And also when people understand that this is what you are passionate about, and if they believe in you as a person, and if family is our family and friends and everyone else is behind you, I think there is nothing that you can't do. And as an organization, Cinnamon, we have also, Radhey actually mentioned it, we have agile work. People can come and work in office, or if they really need to take a break and do something from home and then work and catch up on work, that's possible. So agile work is allowed. And also we were the first organization, John Keel's Holdings as well as Cinnamon, to give 100 days parental leave for our people. That is not only for the person who is delivering the baby, but even to the spouse or the partner gets 100 days off so that you can spend quality time with your family, quality time, and also time where you can bond with your baby. So that is something I think is unique in our organization. So we personally believe that we want to make sure that our people, they are mindful and they balance work and life. So yeah, that's my view.
If I can just add to that what Ishara said, and I think the element of how important it is for your family to understand your work commitments and your work environment. For example, I personally share almost everything with my wife on what goes on at the workplace, purely for the reason of that she has a very clear understanding of what kind of work I do, what are the challenges, what are the wins, what are the successes. And we've been doing this for over and over years now, and then you're so used to it about talking about everything that goes well or that is a challenge. And then I think that helps the family and even the kids understand your workplace better. And then so they also understand when you have to take some time, family time or a personal time away and give it to work, they have a complete understanding of why you are doing that. And also I think for most of us, and I think it's true for most of us, where we are in a job that that is a primary mean for our livelihood, and that means that this is so important that to ensure that our families are looked after. So and that space of understanding is also extremely important to say that yes, the balance works both ways. It's work life and life work. So, and I think that's Ishara about it that very beautifully.
Moving on to our next question, motivation is a much spoken of topic, especially amongst employees, and sometimes more often than not the lack thereof. What in your opinion motivates people to work together? What do you think? Like, let's talk from an HR perspective. What in your opinion you think motivates people?
So motivation is first, I don't know, in my view it is the leadership. If the leadership is authentic, trustworthy, and also open to feedback and able to get the team to think and work together, so automatically there is motivation created there. Because I personally believe when you share personal stories and when you connect with people, automatically you create that huge motivation in terms of collaboration and getting sharing ideas, because people do come to work with many things in their kind of mind. They don't just come to work leaving their personal life behind. They come with a lot of things. So when you have leaders and when you have a team that you can you can trust and you can share things, So it really creates, I feel, motivation. And on top of that also, I think as an organization, we focus a lot on well-being. So in terms of our employee assistant program we have, where we give people the opportunity to go and speak to a therapist who's available every Wednesday, full day, who people can book time and go and speak and discuss their issues and discuss anything that really, it's not only work related, even personal things. So that has really kind of helped a lot of our colleagues to kind of share their experience, and also we were able to address a lot of issues through that as well. And also we have a program called Anagram, where we also talk about a lot of current topics affecting people and their motivation and how we can bring out the best in our people. So in that sense also we talk about trust, collaboration, we talk about a lot of things, and also workplace harassment if at all, and also gossiping, bullying, many things that comes out in those sessions, which is really kind of an eye-opener for our leaders and our people, so that we start talking about some of these topics that normally in organization people don't talk about. We talk. So when you start talking, also there is a lot of motivation built in terms of saying, okay, this is an organization which is trying to change the culture, change the way we work. So in that sense also we've kind of achieved a lot, I would say, in the last year and a half or last 2 years. And we, of course, I'm not saying our organization is up there. There's so much more we can do, and so much more that we want to focus on. So so if you have, in my view, if you have authentic leaders, and if you can create a culture of kindness and caring and sharing, I think that's how you can create a very motivated team.
And Radhey, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I think leadership is absolutely critical, towards ensuring that you have teams that are motivated to work with us. And again, I think motivation is a very, very vast subject. There have been so many researches on, what motivates the employees and the team members to work better and deliver on the results. But I think, and I can absolutely talk about how we do this, how I do this with my team, and how we do this in our organization. I think for me personally, it's there are two factors that you keep in mind when you think about motivation within the teams. One is whether they have the right goals and objectives to work towards, and whether there is a very clear understanding of those objectives, what these goals are, and have these been clearly explained to them. Are your teams own these goals, or they see it as something that has been passed on without really a clear understanding and explanation? So that has a big factor, what these goals and objectives are, and whether the team members and the colleagues have the right understanding of these goals. And then second, and I think more important than the first one, is to have that safe, secure, non-hostile workspace and work environment, so where the teams and the colleagues feel absolutely open to lean on each other in terms when needed, to share ideas openly without having to fear about whether this idea is going to be stolen as somebody else's, or they're going to be put down for speaking in a forum. So I think that's where as leaders, we have to ensure that we have that responsibility, and we carry out that responsibility of creating and giving our teams that safe, secure, easy work environment where they're allowed to share their thoughts openly, collaborate and work with each other openly.
All right, and that's a wrap of our first segment. We'll be back with segment 2 and a fun segment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What makes a truly awesome insurance company? Is it the skills to manage big numbers and big responsibilities? Well, that's definitely part of it. But there's more. It's the people. They're awesome. super passionate about looking out for others and putting in their time for people's finances. It's not just the people, it's how we do things that's awesome. From being trendsetters of the industry to being connectors or inventors. It's about well-being and how we achieve it. Our teams hustle non-stop to meet the needs of the people. That's why we're on the rise. But it's not just about how we do things either. It's about how we improve things. Helping our clients thrive in a world that's full of awesome goals to achieve. Making the maximum out of the minimum. But wait, there's more to it. There's one last thing that truly makes an insurance company awesome. It's that we care about our people and our customers. All of this combined, it's been a pretty awesome year. And we're excited for tomorrow.
The latest issue of LMD is available at lmdmall.lk as well as selected supermarkets and bookshops. You can also access the digital version on Press Reader, Maxter, our social media platforms and WhatsApp.
And we are back with round 2 with Radhey and Ishara. We are back with a fun segment. So this game is a game of this or that. So you can pick whatever you prefer or leans more towards your preference. If you say both, that's fine too. So let's first start with Ishara. So I'll just pose the questions to both of you. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Rather beach vacation or a mountain retreat?
A mountain retreat.
Books or movies?
Both.
Both. Okay. Sweets or savories?
Savories.
Early bird or a night owl? I think you answered this question initially as well.
Night owl.
Night owl, okay. Rather dogs or cats?
Dogs.
City life or a secluded life?
City life.
Rather Netflix or YouTube?
That's a tough one. I would say if I have a choice, neither, but I believe I'll go with Netflix here.
Netflix, okay. Pizza or burgers?
Burgers.
Adventure or relaxation?
Adventurization.
So a mix of both.
Yes, I guess so, yeah.
Okay. Handwritten notes or emails?
Handwritten notes.
Okay, so the personal touch.
Yeah.
A phone call or a text message?
A phone call.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
Non-fiction. Music or podcasts?
Podcast.
Classic or modern?
Modern.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
Sneakers, okay.
Both sides.
We are aligned here.
Comedy or drama?
Drama.
Rather chocolate or vanilla?
A chocolate.
Rainy days or sunny days?
Both actually.
Have you been enjoying the rains? Morning workouts or evening workouts?
Morning workouts.
Okay. Spontaneous adventures or planned trips?
Planned trips.
Okay. Virtual meetings or face-to-face meetings?
Face to face any day.
Shopping online or shopping in store?
Shopping in store.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cooking at home or dining out?
Dining out.
The best of both worlds.
Okay.
Both.
Classic movies or new releases?
Both.
Both?
Neither.
Neither. Okay. Board games or video games?
Both games.
Video games.
A sunrise or a sunset?
Sunrise.
All right, and that wraps our segment. Radhey, Ishara, thank you so much for being with us on the show. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on Living Gets Real.
Thank you.
There you have it. These are our answers to the questions and the game.
be sure to check out Living's Instagram and Facebook pages for the latest episode of Living Gets Real.
See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.